In the small town of Ravenswood, nestled between the towering pines of the Blackwood Forest, there stood an old Victorian mansion. It was a relic of the town's past, its once grand facade now weathered and worn, casting eerie shadows in the moonlight. The mansion had long been abandoned, its halls echoing with whispers of the past. But one fateful night, a group of curious teenagers decided to explore its decaying corridors, seeking thrills in the darkness. Among them was Emily, a bold and adventurous girl with a fascination for the macabre. As they ventured deeper into the mansion, their flashlights casting faint beams into the gloom, they stumbled upon a narrow staircase leading up to the attic. Creaking with each step, they ascended into the attic, where dust motes danced in the dim light. And there, in the corner, shrouded in shadows, they saw it, the coffin. It was unlike any coffin they had ever seen, adorned with intricate carvings of serpents and skulls. Its wood was warped and weathered, as if it had endured centuries of decay. Emily's heart raced as she approached the coffin, a sense of foreboding washing over her. With trembling hands, she reached out to touch its cold surface, feeling a chill run down her spine. But before she could pull away, the lid of the coffin creaked open with a deafening groan, revealing nothing but darkness within. A foul stench filled the air, choking their senses as they recoiled in horror. In that moment, they knew they had awoken something ancient and malevolent, something that should have remained undisturbed in its eternal slumber. As they fled from the attic, their screams echoed through the empty halls of the mansion, mingling with the anguished moans of the restless dead. Little did they know, their encounter with the coffin was only the beginning of a nightmare that would haunt them for the rest of their days. After their terrifying encounter in the attic, Emily and her friends couldn't shake the feeling of dread that clung to them like a suffocating fog. Nightmares plagued their sleep, visions of the coffin and its ominous contents haunting their every thought. Desperate for answers, Emily turned to the town's local historian, an elderly woman named Mrs. Hawthorne who was rumored to possess knowledge of Ravenswood's dark past. With trepidation, Emily and her friends visited Mrs. Hawthorne's cottage on the outskirts of town, its overgrown garden hiding secrets of its own. As they sat in the dimly lit parlor, Mrs. Hawthorne's piercing gaze bore into their souls, as if she could see the horrors they had witnessed. In a voice trembling with age, Mrs. Hawthorne spoke of the mansion's tragic history, the tale of the van der Graaf family, who had once owned the estate centuries ago. According to legend, the patriarch, Matthias van der Graaf, had been a practitioner of dark magic, dabbling in the occult to gain power and immortality. But his quest for eternal life came at a terrible price. In his pursuit of forbidden knowledge, Matthias unleashed a curse upon his family, binding their souls to the mansion for all eternity. The coffin they had discovered in the attic was no ordinary coffin, it was the vessel containing the remains of Matthias himself, his restless spirit trapped within its confines. As Mrs. Hawthorne spoke, the air grew thick with tension, the weight of centuries-old secrets pressing down upon them. Emily and her friends realized they had awakened something far more sinister than they could have ever imagined. Determined to break the curse and put the souls of the van der Graaf family to rest, Emily and her friends embarked on a perilous journey into the heart of darkness that shrouded Ravenswood. But little did they know, the true horror was yet to come, as they delved deeper into the mansion's twisted history and uncovered the dark forces that lurked within its walls. As Emily and her friends delved deeper into the secrets of Ravenswood Mansion, they unwittingly unleashed forces beyond their control. The curse of the van der Graaf family, once contained within the confines of the coffin, now seeped into every corner of the mansion, twisting reality into a nightmare. Their attempts to break the curse only served to strengthen it, as the vengeful spirits of the van der Graaf family lashed out with increasing fury. Shadows danced along the walls, whispers echoed in the empty halls, and the air grew heavy with malice. One by one, Emily's friends fell victim to the malevolent forces that prowled the mansion's darkened corridors. Their screams echoed through the night, their pleas for mercy falling on deaf ears. Emily, consumed by guilt and despair, realized too late the folly of her curiosity. The mansion had become their prison, its walls closing in around them with each passing moment. In a last desperate bid for escape, Emily made her way to the attic, where it all began. But the coffin, once dormant, now pulsed with a sinister energy, its lid beckoning her with a siren's call. With trembling hands, Emily approached the coffin, her heart pounding in her chest. As she reached out to touch its cold surface, the lid flew open with a deafening crash, revealing the twisted form of Matthias van der Graaf, his eyes burning with an unholy fire. In that moment, Emily knew there was no escape. The curse of the van der Graaf family had claimed her soul, condemning her to an eternity of darkness and despair. And as the coffin closed in around her, sealing her fate, Emily's screams joined the chorus of the damned, echoing through the halls of Ravenswood Mansion for all eternity.